You're listening to The People's Pitch, the official podcast of Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by footballstadiumprints.com. Let's start the show.
And as I talked about just a couple minutes ago, as Joe Watt stands over this one, he appears to be the one taking the penalty here. This is a huge confidence booster if you're Duluth.
Worst case scenario for City right here.
And it stopped!
Yes!
And it stopped!
Totally redeems himself.
Matt Elder redeeming himself. Oliver with the right foot. The shot is goal!
Oliver!
Justin Oliver will break the scoreless tie. And it is 1-0 Minneapolis City. Is Hutton now on the offense with the left foot.
Goal!
And it is now 2-0 Minneapolis City.
Good finish.
Nick Hutton taking his quick victory lap.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, coming at you for the first time live from the Futures Austin Villa UPSL match here at Edor Nelson Field on the campus of Augsburg University. Quite the mouthful. A first of its kind on this here show.
We've never done this.
So please bear with us as we work through Nate trying to do PA and this podcast, me trying to pay attention to soccer and talk about soccer. With that said, Nate, are you ready for double duty tonight?
Yeah, dude. I think if I just drift off, it's because I'm just watching what's going on in the field. I'm not paying attention to you anymore. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hit the crow button.
Hold on.
We're hitting the crow button.
Yeah,
buddy.
Let's get those crows going.
If we're double dipping with two shows last week, this week it's a bit lighter as we sink our teeth into the USL 2 squads match versus RKC from this past Saturday, and try to do our best to sprinkle in a little color from the UPSL game being played literally right in front of us. Currently in the 29th minute, 0-0. Excuse me. Of course, we'll also have match previews of for the first team as they have their first trip of the season down to the newly formed Loons. And by that I mean Rochester FC Loons, not the Loons you were thinking of, because we have already played them. Then the Futures match on May 27th with something called Worthington Community FC.
Hey, it's a club for the community.
Yeah, in Worthington.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this, Nate.
Yeah, so John City faced the first of three new teams to the Deep North last Saturday. And spoiler alert, this might be the best one of them, I think. It's hard to know what you're going to run into in this league. And as the game day program said, this one felt like it could have been a Peoria situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. We talked a little bit about on the podcast last week. Oh, nice interception there by Robles. We talked a little bit about it last week that it truly was a situation where we don't really know what we're going to get, and man, did we sure figure it out, and we'll get into that. The Minneapolis City roster on the night from a front three perspective was Eli Goldman, Hakeem Morgan, and Shea Bechtel, so nothing changed from the last game. Central midfield was Eric Contreras, the return of Brian Lopez, and our player to watch, Robbie Buzakovic, the bazooka. And then across the back line was Carson Pena, Griffin Guillerche, Jonah Garcia, James Gardev, and in goal, unchanged, Oscar Herrera. And on your subs bench was the return of everyone's favorite Swiss Army knife goalkeeper, Kalen Matacastillo. I forget what Wagner's first name is. Luca Contestable.
Curtis
Wagner, there you go. Luca Contestable, Aiden O'Driscoll, Clemente Archer Puig, Stevie Lamar, and Dennis Mensa. So from a first half perspective, we'll just call this one a goal fest, Nate.
Yeah.
When we had the eye test during warm-ups, it was clear that they were a foot taller, 10 pounds more muscle, and what we found out, very fast. So it looked like a physical mismatch on paper, and that translated into the eye test.
Yeah, really fast. I think that was something that was initially evident as we gave up a goal within the first 3 minutes on the counter, as their I guguess it'd be their left winger was just scorching.
It was Nick Senek.
Yeah.
Who was a 18-year-old commit for Creighton University.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a nice wing back, just able to defend, but really his skill was just being that speedy guy up and down the wing. On the counter, crushed crush guard out for the first goal.
Well,
in the first 3 minutes, that's not something that feels good.
Well, here's the thing. The front three of Nick Senek, who you mentioned, Malte Kaiser, and Victor Vondreska was fantastic. I mean, the three of them, whether it was Vondreska at the 9 dipping in to get to draw the center backs out, and then Kaiser and Senek filling in, it was just a constant movement with the front three, which we haven't seen a lot since the days of having the hive mind of the Oliver twins. So it was quite the thing to watch if you're a soccer purist. But like Nate
for the neutral fan.
Yeah, for the neutral fan, it's like, wow, these guys are really good. For us up in the booth, we were like, God damn it. But the goal fest started in the 3rd minute off, you guessed it, a counterattack, where it was very evident that they had done their homework, and they were very drilled in. They were a team that not only countered from an offensive perspective, but were able to drop back and stop the counter, and that was really from the jump. So then that was followed by an 8th minute goal that was from the aforementioned Nick Senek, which was an absolute laser beam. And if you listen back at the call that we had on the goal, Nordo's trying to do his best way of elegantly trying not to be excited about the other team scoring. And I'm sitting there just going, woo!
Oh, man.
And I think I said wow about 7 times. I mean, he laced a shot through the ear hole of...
Can Minna get there?
He laced a shot through the ear hole of Oscar Herrera, who had really no chance. And now you're down 2 goals inside 8 minutes. And both of those goals were not anywhere near Oscar Herrera's fault.
No, and I don't know, John, what you do at this level when you go down 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, but
you pretend they didn't happen. You try to keep going at it.
Exactly. I was going to say, like, credit to the team for not panicking and just totally losing their shit.
Well, and the shit they did not lose, Nate, because in the 14th minute, there was some really good high pressure between Hakeem Morgan and Eli Goldman that forced a turnover in the RKC offensive third, and Eli just slotted home the home team's first goal of the game from a nearly impossible angle.
I couldn't believe it.
And he hit it with his left foot, too.
Yeah, right. And it looked like the keeper had it covered. Somehow Eli able to, slide it past him with his left foot into the far netting, basically from the left side into the exact opposite corner, right inside the post.
And the thing about that was it clearly showed that a high line of pressure and hunting in pairs caused fits for the back line of RKC. But it wasn't something that Minneapolis City kept going at to try to expose. And we'll get into why that was in a little bit. Sorry, just trying to watch some action here.
Yeah. It's easy to get distracted, right? You're like,
that's a shot. Even
I'll call that a shot.
From forever. So then, there was kind of a tit for tat, 2-1 game for most of the first half. And then another counterattack goal in the 35th minute from Malte Kaiser, which completed the hat trick for the front three for RKC. And that one was, in the 35th minute. That one, to me, was the indicator of they can score when they want to.
Yeah, you'd think after, multiple... I think before that, too, there were a couple times when RKC was really threatening on the counter, and I think it was just some last-ditch efforts.
Off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar, lucky us.
Good tackle by Rigo.
Through the efforts of Jonah Garcia, I think, with a goal line clearance. There was another
great save by Herrera.
Yeah, another great save by Herrera, 1v1. There was... when you go down 3, you're just like, wow, that third goal was coming. There was no surprises there.
Yeah, the third goal was coming, and it did happen in the 35th minute by Malte Kaiser. But then in the 36th minute, Eli Goldman with a literal carbon copy of his first goal, which happened on Minneapolis City pressuring the back line. The goalkeeper, I think it was something Halstead, whatever. Sorry, don't remember your name. You were really tall. I remember that. And he looked very uncomfortable with his distribution with his feet. So the pressure to force him into the least the least desirable option for trying to get out of the back caused a turnover, and Eli scored again. So now at this point, 36 minutes, you're right before halftime. Now it's 3-2.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, John, like if we can go to halftime 3-2, and in the locker room figure out this issue on the counter, we're in good shape.
We're in real good shape.
Yeah, we've scored 2. We've shown how we can score 2.
Yeah.
And if we can limit their goal scoring, we can probably steal 1 or 2 back in the second half and get into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. But then the dagger came, Nate. 3 minutes into stoppage time, off of a corner kick, some miscommunication between Carson Pena and James Gardev, and the clearance off the created into a counterattack off a Minneapolis City corner kick.
Yeah.
And it was just a scramble drill. Totally hard sale, bodies flying everywhere trying to get back. And the 4th goal happened. So I'm not the Minneapolis City historian by any means here, but I do believe that was the highest scoring half we've ever seen in a 6-goal affair.
Yeah. I mean, it sure as hell felt like a lot of goals, John.
Yeah, well, 6 is a lot of goals.
Yeah, that first half to me felt like the tale of 2 Crow teams on the field. And what I mean by that is at the same time we had one team who, made up of 5 or 6 guys who were in danger of making a fatal mistake at any moment. And then you had another team that felt like another group of players that was determined to claw us back into this game. And I think until that 4th goal, John, I think that second team was winning, right? Like we were, whether it was Jonah Garcia doing everything he could to defend.
He was winning a bunch of aerial balls over a guy like a foot and a half taller than him.
Yeah, clearing balls off the line, like blocking a surefire goal with his body on the line. You had the front 3 of Bechtel and Morgan and Goldman, like you said, putting pressure on that back line and creating goals out of nothing.
There were pieces there.
Yeah.
And there were pieces of substance too.
I really thought that determination would win out on the day, but that 4th goal, like you said, felt like the dagger.
Yeah, and then you go into the second half, and I still feel like we stayed in it. We created chances, but that counterattack and the quality of RKC was just too much. And I felt we did a decent job of hunting for our goals in the second half, but every time we tried to hunt, that counterattack equalized that hunt. It was far too dangerous. So then when we talk about like what adjustments you can make, if it's 3-2, you stay the course with your game plan.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 4-2, you have to make a decision. Do you go forward? What are you doing here, my computer?
Zooming in.
Well, it's just too much for me. It's way too much. What are you, geriatric? Can't see your
It's
notes?
easier to look at your computer than mine. I'm not turning away from the mic.
So, from a coaching perspective, you have to make the decision. So the decision is, do I commit more numbers forward to stop off the counterattack at the source for where the long ball's happening? And then you remove another player from a defensive responsibility, and you could just be fucked either way.
Yeah.
So there was that. Ended up that they did get one back off of a kind of a lackluster header. I think it was a it was a lackluster header. Sorry, our goalkeeper just got kicked in the head.
That's not cool.
Hope he's okay. But the 4th goal, or the 5th goal coming for RKC was very much so another trend, I believe, that we saw happening, and I'll talk about that in a second. But it was off of a corner kick where there was some ball watching, and then ultimately Eli completed his hat trick after Shea Bechtel nearly converted a sweet turnaround volley that hit the crossbar. Good block by Bope right
Shot
there.
block?
Yeah, we'll call it a shot. So Eli completed the hat trick. Ended up. Oh, Doshin's in. We might have a goal.
Flag
here.
up.
Oh no. Eli completed the hat trick, which was the 7th hat trick in the history of the club, first of the USL 2 kind. So
that's not bad.
Congratulations to Eli.
Yeah, I was surprised, John. Like you said, you go to the locker room and you have some choices to make as far as adjustments, but there were none, right? Total lack of adjustments in the locker room.
Personnel adjustments, not tactical adjustments.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I was listening to Coach Craig post game, and I was kind of struck with the approach in the interview, kind of saying like, sure, I could have directed them out there and changed the tactics, but really it's up to them as players. They need to fundamentally understand the situation and react to it. And I guess that's a good.
It's a good.
That's a good approach,
but
yeah, that's a good. But like, I don't know. We were watching a team just demolish your formation for 45 minutes, and the right back probably already had PTSD going to the locker room. Like, you got to do something, don't you? I don't know. Anyway, there were some positives on the day, like we've mentioned, and I think that's important because this is a team that is that's doing a little building on the year, and that we've got plenty of games left on the season.
Yeah, I think so too. There's plenty of opportunity we get another chance at those guys, so we've shown that we can do some things. I'm sure they'll grow as well, but they're well trained in. They were a real quality individual squad as well.
Yeah.
So my positives on the day. Oh boy, that guy just. There's all sorts of things that just happened here. We got a yellow card. We got a guy down. We got a ball that I think hit my car in the parking lot. So my positives on the day. There's one positive that bubbles to the top. Eli's hat trick. I joked with him after the game and said, "What the hell, man? You couldn't score 6 today?" I think Shea Bechtel is an untapped resource.
Oh man, he's gonna be so good as he starts to lock in.
Yep. I thought Oscar, though, hung out to dry to keep the score at only 5 with some really great 1v1 saves. Nate's doing his job here.
In the 43rd minute.
Double duty. Love
Yep.
it.
Yep.
I thought that he had some really great 1v1 saves that kept it at 5. I thought Puig off the bench was a real bright spot. I thought his debut with the Crows was very positive. He kind of said fuck it and put his head down and tried to create some things off the dribble. So I thought it was a really
nice
good
combination of energy and control.
Yeah,
I think was which is what the game was looking for.
Absolutely. I liked what the bazooka brought at the number 6. I think he tired a bit, which is where the substitutions came in.
Yeah.
But in his first opportunity with the club, I think he's that standstill 6 that occupies space and directs traffic, keeps it simple, gets the ball off his foot. It's really what we were looking for, early in the first 2 games. And then finally, I liked what a higher line of pressure did to create chances for us. It may not be what the coaching staff wants to deploy. However, it created goals.
Yeah, and it feels better to have your front 3, like you said, hunting in pairs with each other, and getting those turnovers than it does watching your wingers have to drop back and help defend.
Absolutely.
Tuck into the midfield and help defend. John, this is a podcast that features an owner and a fan, and I will go back to my fan mode, and I want to talk about some negatives because this game stunk, man. Watching us get beat 5-3, not cool. We just got beat by a better squad. It's as simple as that. You can't really, you can't say anything more about it. I don't think this game was like we said, after that 4th goal, this game was not in hand for Minneapolis City, and it was just a matter of salvaging some pride.
Which I think we did.
Mm-hmm.
We showed fight to come back. I think number 2 for me on the list of negatives was Hakeem Morgan was basically rendered useless. And
Yeah.
It wasn't anything he did. I think you could not find him the ball in spaces other than ones that were crowded by 3+ yellow shirts. He was doing his best with the hold-up play to do his job, but it's tough for a target striker when you're supposed to be the point man to check back and hold the ball up, but also try to pivot and get into the offense. And that's why you saw that the bright spots were on the day to us, Bechtel and Goldman, who were flanking him. So I think that he just didn't get the service he could have gotten in order to continue.
Yeah, I think the other negative, John, and I was harping on it most of the half, is just like, man, James Gardev, like
not the debut you wanted.
Brutal performance.
Yeah.
And I think like part of it is no help, part of it is positioning, part of it was decision making. I think in general, this is just a day he's going to want to forget. He's got to have a short memory here if he wants to come back and contribute in this USL 2 squad. Part of me, I joked to myself, maybe I was joking to you too, that like, did Carl leave him in just to kind of prove that like this is why you're not going to get played the rest of the season, or like why would you do that? Why would you do that to the guy?
Looks like we got the half here, so we're gonna take a short break and we'll be right back.
And we're back. Halftime is over here at Edo Nelson Field. Still 0-0 as the second half goes. Let's keep going, John. We're talking about negatives from the game.
Yeah, the last point for me from the RKC City matchup in the USL2 was I didn't feel that the 8-10 or the 8-10 combination of Lopez and Contreras combined very well. And I thought that they didn't combine very well with each other, and they didn't combine well with with the front three. There were a lot of passes that were like scoop passes over a defender into space, and like there's not on the same page pretty much the whole day. And I think that kind of contributed to what I talked about with Hakeem Morgan not really getting a whole lot out of it.
Yellow card caution issued to Minneapolis City Futures.
And Nate will pause. He's doing his job over here.
All right, sorry.
So we're done with that.
No, I'm with you. The part of the issue too with Lopez's first game back with the team after a long time. Contreras and Lopez both like to kind of do the same thing, John, and that's dribble out of trouble and pull off like a flashy move at the end, right? And this game just did not call for the flash. Like we needed control, we needed
substance.
Yeah, and that was probably wrong game to feature both. I think one might have helped. Two was tough. Well, next up for City is another team that's new to the Deep North. We're gonna get our first look at the Loons. No, not those Loons, John. The other Loons.
What a great marketing play.
I know. Not
you know
we're
how to
not
get
those
attention?
Loons.
You know
We're
how to
the
get
other Loons.
You know how to get attention? Call ourselves the Loons, and then people are gonna buy tickets and they're gonna show up. Oh, Doshin's
Dosha's
in.
on. Here comes the goal. Oh,
Great
shot
save by the goalkeeper. Austin Villa goalkeeper, whatever his name is, just came up with a huge save. But anyways, not those Loons, Nate.
Yeah, the other Loons. It's the Rochester FC Loons or whatever they are. FCSC. Anyway, John, with one game played and one win against the Bavarians, we've got a little more to go on, but Rochester is still a little bit of a mystery. Not so bad as RKC, but we still don't really know what's up with Rochester.
Right. I did watch back the Bavarians game. I don't quite know how to figure it out. I think that it was kind of a snatch and grab game against the Bavarians. Like, the Bavarians tried to play a certain way, and I don't even know if we're going to end up facing the same team. You don't know that's set up in Rochester.
Yeah.
So I don't have a ton to go by, but all we know is that they sit above us in the table, our first road game, and it's an opportunity for us to bad turnover. It's an opportunity for us to go and get points, which we need to go get points.
Yeah, and Rochester beat the Bavarians, like you mentioned, 2-1. They ran a 4-3-3. It looked like both goals scored by a guy named Jake Parrish, who is a UW Green Bay player from Tasmania. How weird is that?
The devil.
The first goal comes off a set piece. The second goal off of a cross. John, both goals saw Bavarians players just kind of staring at loose balls in the box. I wouldn't say that any of them were related to any sort of great run of play or phenomenal
looked
tactics.
Like the trip across the border took it out of them.
Yeah,
they didn't have an energy. They didn't have the specific playing style that at least someone like me, being an old Bavarian, is used to seeing every single time they roll out. They play their way, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. One thing I didn't notice, or I didn't see when I watched the game, is it didn't feel like they had a lot of speed. They were not beating the Bavarians in any foot races, right? It was just kind of little
set piece goals, basically.
Yeah, the set piece goals and some mistakes on the Bavarians' part. But after what we've seen from the Crows, like, you feel like the book is written so far in the Deep North.
There's two ways to score on us.
You got to be thinking about going over the top, right? And I guess we'll just
set pieces.
And the set pieces. So we'll just see which one they focus on, if they've got the speed to try that. Minneapolis City versus Rochester is Saturday night. It's at 7 p.m. Catch it online at 11 Sports.
Can't wait.
I'm bothered by this team already, John. They do that annoying thing where the PA guy runs a live play-by-play over the mic.
I don't like it. At least run a podcast while you're doing it.
All right. Well, right now, as we've mentioned a couple times, we are in the booth for the Futures versus Austin Villa. They're facing another test tonight in what is an increasingly competitive UPSL Midwest West Division. We're welcoming the team with the best name in Minnesota Lower League Soccer. It's Austin Villa.
Yeah.
Coming into tonight, the Villains so far swung kind of back.
Do they go by the Villains?
No, they should.
I think you should put that on the scoreboard.
I don't want to give them the respect. They've swung back and forth form-wise, but I think, as we've seen tonight, scores 0-0, 53 minutes played, they need to be respected. They opened their season with a draw against Superior City. They lost
leading the league.
Leading the league. They lost big, though, to Worthington,
who we play
next Saturday.
This weekend.
But then they have bounced back. They drew St. Croix, and they beat the Blackhawks. So, I don't know, 7 goals on the year. This is a team that can score, but really what I was hoping to see tonight was a lack of defense. So far, 0-0, they're defending quite well.
Well, here's what I've taken out of this game so far, and obviously we've been a little distracted trying to double dip here because you're going up at the cabin for the holiday weekend, and we had to fit it in, and I really needed to get out here and watch a Futures game.
Yeah.
But
foul.
That's a bad
foul on Dosh. Here comes a yellow.
That guy for Austin Villa, what's his name? Number 17?
Well,
that guy has been on the turf for the entire game. Anyways, we'll get past the fact that you guys don't see what we're seeing here. But this game here, I don't want to talk about it. We'll actually give the full recap,
recap
on our next show.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing here from the UPSL is some attrition, Nate. We talked about it off air before the game started. We're seeing the attrition happen where the UPSL is starting to filter out some of the. I'm just gonna say it. Filtering out the turds. And some of these new teams that started either last year or this year are of real substance.
Yeah.
And I think that's better for the division.
Absolutely. And when you look at Mena looked like he's on, nice bit of dribbling here. Making sure my microphone is off. When you look at kind of what we're hoping to achieve tonight, right? The Futures have an opportunity this week to cement their spot in the top half of the table. We gotta work to be there when the table coalesces into a clear top 3, because right now you got Superior City, you got Minneapolis City hanging out, you've got Blackhawks, you've got Vlora,
You got this team.
you've got Villa, right? I mean, there is a solid top 6 right now, and it's just a matter of who is going to rise to the top in time for the playoffs. And we know that the playoffs in this league don't make any sense. So as long as you make the playoffs, you've got a chance to keep going.
Well, I think that the first what are we in our 3rd year of the UPSL?
Yeah.
This is the first year where the division makes sense to me. Where yes, there's still UPSL things, but the competition level and the playing style is way higher.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from the team makeup. You've got Superior City entering the league, who we know is kind of the Futures of Duluth, or at least the second team for Duluth.
Or their first team members getting minutes.
Uh-huh. You've got St. Croix Soccer Club doing the same thing, right? Where guys that maybe just aren't ready for USL2 or need to get minutes are playing in the UPSL. You've got us, the Futures, team built for this league, basically. You've got the Blackhawks making their first foray into semi-pro in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And Vlora, who we know and respect.
Who's
and
taking
Vlora,
a dive in the division.
They're sitting at 5th with currently with 2 wins and 2 draws. At least no losses, but usually this is a team that would convert those into victories.
Well, we'll give a full recap. We'll talk about who played. We'll give you what's going on. But essentially, what we'd like to say is that next game for Mena with an opportunity there. Could have been 1-0 Minneapolis City. This game is really starting to open up. We also want to mention that former Futures Crow Josh Wackerfuss, best name in the club.
Wackerfuss? I just met her.
Yeah. I had a joke there, but that might be an FCC violation. So I'm not going to say it. But Josh looking pretty sharp out there.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Good to see him. So anyways, enough about this game, Nate. But next week we'll come back with a full recap. But as far as the Futures, next game is coming up this Saturday, the 27th, against Worthington Community FC, that currently sits at 2-1 in this division. Worthington's shown up well against the Blackhawks and this Austin Villa team, but lately have been beaten 1-0 by Superior and then stomped 5-0 by St. Croix, and secured a 2-2 draw against a bottom 3 side Maplebrook. So UPSL things, Nate.
UPSL things. Again, we're looking for consistency in this league, and I think of all the teams that are going to end up, who's going to coalesce into that top 3. So yeah, that game is away at Worthington. If you got plans,
know where that is. Where's Worthington?
It's like northwest, like passing. I don't know. If you got plans to be in the area or like at your cabin or whatever, maybe you can head on over to Trojan Field and support the Futures.
Yeah, Trojan.
Yeah, take a little road trip. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. And that's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks again to our wonderful show sponsor, FootballStadiumPrints.com. The lower league season is here, and Football Stadium Prints has the top gear for lower league teams from Minneapolis to Motherwell, with everything from mugs to T-shirts to sweet prints of lower league icons like you, John Bisworm,
Yeah, buddy.
Matt Elder, or Edor Nelson Field. Don't forget to use the code CROWS10 for 10% off on everything you purchase. And remember, all U.S. orders ship right from the States, so there's no pesky international shipping charges. And yes, you can still get a 2023 membership.
Only a few left.
Yeah, $89 is going to get you tickets to all the rest of the games. Minnesota Super Cup, UPSL, and USL 2 home games. Plus you get that voice. Ooh, that almost was a handball. Plus you get a voice that helps shape the club for next year. Like you said, John, there's only a few in-town memberships left, so don't sleep on this. As a reminder, Minneapolis City is a 501c3, so consider that charitable gift that is the membership to the club that loves to give back. If you're interested in getting a hold of us, we've made it super simple. You got to hit us up on Twitter at MPLSCitySC. Come on up. You can tweet at us at the show at The People's Pitch, or email us mcscpodcast@gmail.com. I have been Nate. That was John. It's a pivotal weekend in the USL2. We're going to be watching from our Memorial Day retreats.
I'm going to get so drunk watching that game at home. Yeah, I got the projector set up ready to go.
Sweet. And then we will be back with you next week. But until then,
you got
to